Welcome to D&D Conversations Over Coffee. I'm Jen the Blind Bard, sitting at Tailweaver's Tavern with my morning cup, and I'm excited to talk with you about all things D&D and TTRPG. I am trying something new in the tavern today. This is Bones Coffee, and it's raining right now, so I thought I'd pick Pina Colada Coffee because I like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. So this just made sense. Let's try it. Nice. I like the notes in here. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a sucker for coffee, flavored coffees, and I would definitely get this again. What's everyone else drinking? Hi, Twin Steel. Nice to see you on the stream. So my question to everybody is, what is the one thing you're struggling right now with at your table? And if I could make any video, what would you like me to make? I already have some ideas in the works. I haven't forgotten about the blind characters Twin Steel. And I'm going to be working on that as soon as we get going with long forms again. We just got a new computer. It's set up and ready to go. So I'm hoping to get at least one long form video done by the end of July. Another video in the works is the one I'd like to make about my D&D wedding, because when John proposed to me a few years ago and we decided to get married, we both wanted a theme. I suggested D&D and we made it happen. So I'm excited to make that one. I don't know how long it's going to take me because it's a lot of stuff that I want to show, like the invitations and what we did for, like aesthetics, decorations, and all that. So I want to do it justice. So it's going to probably take a while to make, but I'm excited. And also, we celebrated our anniversary this week, so that's another reason why it was on my mind to make. And the other thing is, I don't know if they're watching. They probably aren't because they're on the ship. But happy 50th anniversary, Mom and Dad. You guys are amazing. And I hope John and I have as successful a marriage as you guys do. Okay. So, last week I mentioned that we did Star Wars. And we used ChatGPT as the Mythic Jam. So I have some thoughts about this. The first thing is it's like less heavy lifting to drive the story forward. So it doesn't rely on us so much. It's great with yes, no questions. It's really fast. But when you're asking complex questions like, what do we do in this situation? Or we succeeded with this role, what are the consequences? It can take a while for it to generate like a couple of things, right? So you kind of have to think about it as, okay, well, it's generating. Instead of sitting there and waiting for it to generate and twiddling our thumbs, maybe we should be talking amongst each other like, okay, what's our next move? What should we do next? And then when it comes up with the 4 solutions, we can just pick one. So that would be the only con, but we can mitigate that by just gaming differently. And so for this campaign, we're using actually all 3 of these books, but here's just kind of a sampling of one of them. We're using all 3 of the campaign books actually for this one. 4 books, sorry. And these are the core books. And someday we'll have all of the books, but for now, it's just the 4 core ones. I want to show you an example of a character sheet. So this is the first one. I think this is the main sheet, and it's the standard print sheet that I cannot read. Has everything. So it's good to have like one of these because my sheets don't have everything. Like they don't have soak or like all the fiddly stuff. So let me show you my character sheet right now. I only put the stuff that makes sense, like that I'm going to be using in game. Right. So am I holding this right? Okay. Okay. So this is my character sheet, and this one, I think this is the one with the words written out. And this is good, but what I noticed the last time, between last time and this time, which was like maybe 6 months or something, in low light, it's really hard to see. Like I could never see it the way my lighting is right now. And we were in our living room, and it was really hard for me to read this. So I made another character sheet, or John did, that has the words shortened because I used to be able to use my vision like both eyes together binocularly, but it's gotten harder and harder since my vision's gotten worse. And so I can only really see out of my left eye now. I can see out of my left eye now, but that means that scanning is difficult. So it used to take me like no time at all to just read a single word. But now I have to actually physically move my head to scan it and read it. So I made so this is, I think this is skills, and I think these are written out again. So as you can see, like I think computers, it has like 2-1. That's 2 yellow, 1 green. And that's not even like, you can't tell on here. I just inherently know that's what it is. But again, it's hard for me to scan this. I have to like physically move my head from side to side to see everything clearly. So what I'm trying now is I am trying to use only what I need to. Wait a minute. I think I have to turn it this way. Okay. So this one, the okay. With this one, you can see how it's abbreviated, right? So I can just go down the list and scan and quickly know like what I'm looking at. And that just helps with the scanning piece. So it's much easier for me to see what's what. But if you didn't want to do this, you could just look for the first 3 letters and scan that way. And the pros of doing this is, it's much easier for me in game. I don't have to memorize everything. I couldn't memorize everything, all my stats and what I have and what skill points I have and what skills. The cons is, you don't have to upgrade every week, but you get at least 30, 40 XP sometimes. And that requires you to upgrade at least one of your characters, one of your sheets every week. And this takes a lot of printer ink, as you can see. John came up with the idea of like the contrast in colors, which I never would have thought of, but it actually works really, really well. Um, so I think if I was going to make any other adaptations, I would probably, obviously my name is Digital Jawa, but I would probably have like the stats, because at the beginning it just said stats. I would probably take that out or just make it really small. And I think this is the last sheet we experimented with. And as you can see, these numbers, like this is huge. And this might be good for like really, really low light. I think it's a little bit too big for what I need right now, but it's a possibility. So you kind of have to try and see what works for you. And I only have the skills that I'm proficient in on my character sheet, because there are so many skills. And I still have to try out Ogdude to see if it's accessible with screen readers. I don't know yet. They do have an app called Star Wars Dice TM or something, and I downloaded it with the expectation that it wasn't going to be accessible, because the game is pretty much dead at this point. And I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't wrong. It's not really accessible to voiceover users, but if you have enough vision to see without using voiceover, it looks like a pretty cool app. It has a lot of sounds and stuff. But every time I tap on the screen, it just says like some generic phrase. It doesn't read anything, which is sad, but hey. So, let me tell you about, yeah. The other thing is, if you have your full sheet, because it doesn't have all the stuff, like, your full sheet is going to have your soak and your armor and, all your strain and all the stuff, like your morale and stuff. And that's where you can use, like, you'll want to review that before your game, obviously. But in game, you could just ask a friend sitting next to you if you need anything like that to read it out. And that's why I think having both really work well. Okay, so let me go over the session that we ran. John, can you play the sequence? So this is what we started with on screen. I believe, let me look in and see what the website is called. So it's called StarWarsIntroGenerator.com. And it does have music, which I can't play right now on stream without getting a copyright strike. But it's pretty epic, actually. And it works with voiceover. So, I tap on the screen and it reads everything to me, which I was really happy about. So we first start out, it's sunset. Hold on. Okay. So it's sunset. And me and Amy and Allison and Matt and John, we're playing with Mythic GM, and it's sunset, and we're all at the gallows. We're tied up. We got firing squad pointing guns at us, and it seemed like all was lost, because we've been accused of sedition and We got blue coats all around us. And so, right when all was lost, there was this massive explosion near the main gate, and everything was like blown apart. And CIS droids come barreling in, and they immediately start, fighting the guards and trying to free us. And so they're sawing at our bindings, and they get us free. And they're like, pick up guns. You can either flee or fight or do something, unless you want to die. So I picked up a weapon, a rifle, and even though I'm horrible at it, but picked it up, and I tried to fight as best I could. We managed to fight off, because the everyone was kind of taking cover behind like barrels and stuff. So we managed to down half of them. The other half surrendered. So so John took a dead body, and he faked a hostage crisis, and he got the other guards to surrender. And then we decided that we were going to take one of their uniforms, right? So we got this guard, and we're like, get naked. And so he stripped, and we took his uniform. And then we had the separatists telling us to take out the AA tower because they wanted to land, and they wanted their reinforcements to have a safe landing spot. And so we get to the main door, and Digital Jawa, she attempts to hack the door, because that's what she does. She's a slicer. And so she shoots the main door. Well, she tries to hack it. But the main door is so badly damaged. It's the keypad is like shot out, and it doesn't work. Even trying to hack it doesn't yield any results. And so Amy says, okay, I'm going to try and mechanics it open. Maybe I can jury rig something to open it. So she tries that. That doesn't work. And John's character says, all right, I'm just going to brute force it open with all the strength I've got. And that actually works. So it took a while to get it open. We finally did. So we gained access, and we see this corridor with like just dim lighting. And then there were like guards behind columns. And John and Matt attempted the help me maneuver. John's character was holding Matt at gunpoint, and he's like, oh my God, help me. Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. But the captain wasn't buying it. He wasn't buying it. He's like, he didn't recognize us as soldiers. So a fight ensued. They, Matt and the captain were fighting with knives and clubs. Matt was actually thrown at the captain by John. I know. I told it. I know it is the help me maneuver. And then we dropped one guard, and the other one fled. We actually recovered a key card off the captain. And Digital Jawa hacked the console. She gained access to all the facility doors, and she reorganized the FF codes so that IFF, excuse me, so that anytime they could still manually shoot, but they were shooting at friendlies instead of enemies. Oh, cool. Yeah, wave, hammer, and lightning. Awesome. I'm assuming mechanics and hacking, right? We also searched the weapons lockers and we took some weapons. Um, oh, one thing I forgot to mention before the whole the fight going on, my friend Allison said, and this is partly, I guess, why people ran. Um, she threatened to shoot people in their most valuable assets, most negotiable assets. Sorry. And, if I was them, I'd flee too, because who wants that? So there was a lift and there was a ladder. So we decided against the lift um, because it only held two people. So Digital Jawa was leaning on, like, going up the ladder. She was leading it. And she failed her stealth roll and slammed open the door leading to the ladder. So naturally, the guards above heard. She did a tuck and roll to cover, and of course, she doesn't speak common. And that's where we left it. But after the stream, I was a little bit I don't know, I felt like it just felt different playing with ChatGPT. And I didn't really understand, like, I hadn't figured out the best way to play yet. And I'm thinking, God, it's boring because it's taking so long for ChatGPT to generate the answers. So we were sitting around at the table, and this happens sometimes, especially when I first get into character and start a new campaign. Like, the goals and motivations for my character, I needed to flesh them out more, because just hacking all the time, it gets boring. It's like, why are we even doing this? So we were talking about it, and we were like asking ChatGPT, like, what could my motivations be? And I had the idea that, okay, maybe she's a slicer because, you know, her identity got stolen. And maybe she was forced into it because she wants to find who did this to her. So that kind of became the driving force now. So her name is Valen Caro, and I think it's an alias because she has a whole bunch of aliases. So I don't even know what her real name is, but she goes by Digital Jawa because Jawas take things. So her whole mission is to find out who stole her identity and bring them to justice. Now, I don't know if she's ever going to accomplish that, because that's kind of a difficult thing to accomplish. But every time she scans things now, she's scanning for her name and any information linked to, her identity and who took it. Because her identity is shot now. And she doesn't know why or what happened or anything. So that's her whole raison d'etre, and it was a cool discussion. It was like, maybe like after most people had left. It was just me, John, and Matt. And we were just sitting there talking about it. And that's one of my goals, is to get better at getting into character, being a better role player. Because I think that's really where most of my fun lies, is like the role play aspect and dealing with the NPCs and like character growth and all that. So Twin Steel says that he watched a video by Dice Anvil that was playing with a AI GM. That's really cool. We have used Mythic GM before, which is like a yes/no engine. What we used is the Flash player one, and that worked really well for us because it gave us a whole bunch of stuff that we wouldn't have thought of. Oh, Gamers on Games wants to know what game this is. It is Star Wars, the Fantasy Flight Star Wars. So we're using all, huh? It works really well with the Mythic Gem because of the dice, because they're narrative dice. So they've got like, we call them hits and wings, but they're like advantages and disadvantages. But we love it because it works so good with those dice. Now I think it's one of John's favorite systems and one of mine. Although I didn't immediately know that. First time I played it, I was not really enthused about it, to be honest, because I wasn't a huge Star Wars fan. But you don't have to be a fan of a game or a culture to like the game or the story. So now I think it's really interesting because every time we use the box or Mythic GM as we call it, or the new Mythic Chat GPT, it's like everyone can play, and it's just like a story that we're all telling together, and no one has to DM, which I think is like the best thing ever, because no one likes to DM all the time. You get burnt out. So this gives everybody a chance to play. Oh, so Twin Steel was mentioning that it was having issues like forgetting to have him roll for stuff. Well, I guess that can happen. What we usually do is ask it a question, or we'll ask it like, how much is this? What's the difficulty of this roll or something? Yep, and it's a lot of yes nos too. So, is there this? And they'll answer, yes or no. Do you want to upgrade this roll, or is the door locked? Something like that. And one of the things we do is it has to answer any question that you voice out loud. So it makes you intentional about what you ask. You can't ask anything silly unless you wanted to answer. So that's one of our house rules. Oh, hey, Amy, nice to see you on the stream. And yes, Allison's character was the one that failed their stealth check. I think I did too. I mean, last session that the dice were not in my favor. They didn't like me. Oh, and that just reminds me, ChatGPT is funny because when we were doing the maneuver, the help, I think it was the dead huh? It was it was the dead body, using it as a hostage, and ChatGPT did not like that, and actually it called us out. It said, "Oh my God, that's so wrong," Um, so I just it's funny. It has kind of a personality. Hmm. That's yes. Gamers on games. It is very on point. The success and fail mechanic with the dice. That's one of the reasons why I like it. Even though I can't see the dice, I love how it works. Oh, good. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Um, and oh, Gamers on Games said that they're gonna try to make a reply to my video today because last night's attempt didn't come out. I cannot wait to see that. Yeah, definitely gonna be watching for it. Yeah. So Twin Steel said he doesn't have that much experience with AI DMs. And yeah, I get it. Technically, we don't either. We're just trying this out as an experiment, and it's working good. So I think this time, what I'm gonna do is instead of like just sitting there and waiting for an answer, because it does take a little bit. I think I'm gonna try and talk to people and figure out our next move, and then try and figure out like my character, she needs like quirks. Like, what does she do when she's scared? What does she do when she's nervous or angry? Or I'm gonna try and okay. Well, it was nice. Twin Steel and Gamers on Games. It was nice seeing you guys. Thanks for coming on, and hopefully, I'll see you next week. So, we are pretty close to the end of the stream here, anyways. So, huh. So, Amy is wanting to know anything different, if I would do anything different with the box now that I know how it works. Um, yeah, like I said, because it takes a little while to figure it out, like figure out it takes a while to generate responses instead of waiting for it to generate and just like not doing anything. I'm going to be thinking about what my character would do and maybe trying to talk to the other group, other people in the group, like you and Allison and Matt, like what's our next move? And that then when, chat Mythic GM comes back with a response, we can figure it out together. But I don't want to wait for it because it's really boring when you do that. And role play. I've been watching this new channel, and I forget what channel it is, but they do a lot of like how to play your characters better, and they give really good examples. And I'll definitely I'm gonna try and look them up. But I've been watching, and I want to make sure that my character has like all sorts of things, like goals, things she's going after. Um, I want to try and step up my role play because I think that makes it more fun. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try and make quicker, faster decisions because I feel like the longer it takes us as a group to decide what to do, it just kind of slows everything down and it makes it boring. So fast paced play is always good. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna end it here for today. I will see everybody next Saturday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern. There is no stream for Philly Gaming Expo next week because it's July 4th and we're all just gonna chill and relax. But I'll see everyone later. Have a great day and a great week. And may your rolls be high, your spirits higher, and may your voice always weave wonders.